Hi everyone, thank you for coming to the Rewarding Skills webinar, The Secret of Fun and Effective Dog Training. My name is Lynn Madden. I'm a One Mind Dog instructor here in Australia, and this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart because I have a wide range of dogs that have a wide range of ways they like to be rewarded. So it's definitely something that I am passionate about. So at One Mind Dogs, we like to teach things from the dog's perspective. And when it comes to rewarding, that means really knowing our dogs well and understanding how they like to be rewarded. We all have different things that light up our passion. For me, it's reading and playing with my dogs is rewarding for me. And so we need to find what's rewarding for our dogs and understand that what we think is rewarding for them is not necessarily what they find rewarding. So we do really need to work on understanding from their perspective what floats their boat, as it were. So when I think about rewarding, I like to think of the 5 W's. And we're all very aware of the who, what, when, where, and why. However, I've got them in slightly different order. So the first thing I want you to think about is, why do we want to reward? What do we reward with? Who are we rewarding and who is doing the rewarding? When we want to reward and where we want to reward. So these are the questions I want you to ask yourselves when you're thinking about rewarding with your dog. So the first one is why. The reason we reward our dogs is because we want them to do a certain behavior. And in order to do that, we reward the behavior that we're asking of. So that is basically what positive reinforcement is. And the One Mind Dog method is squarely in this positive reinforcement space. And a definition of that is that a behavior that is adequately reinforced or rewarded is a behavior that will be repeated and strengthened. So any behavior that you reward is something that's going to be strengthened and developed over time. So take a hand touch, nose touch to the hand. The more times you reward that behavior, the stronger that behavior will become. If we ask for the hand touch, for example, and we do not reward it, then the dog's going to go, we did it, and there was nothing coming from that, so why would we do it again? So this is why we reward. It increases the desired behavior. It makes the learning fun and motivating. And that's where we want to really make our mark on dogs and people's relationships. We want to make sure that the rewarding that's happening for the dog is fun and motivating, builds confidence, and it's not just shoving food in a dog's face or, throwing a toy and leaving it at that. We want to make sure the dog is having its best time ever. And in doing that, we're going to make those behaviors that we're asking of them really, really strong. The next is what. And the what of rewarding is open slather. It can be anything you can think of. So all dogs are different and all dogs have different preferences, and we have to find those preferences. Some dogs are easy. They love food. They love toys. Some dogs, you have to drill a little deeper to find out what is rewarding for them. So some examples of rewards can be food, toy, praise, personal play, unique items. Like some dogs like big stuffed toys. Some dogs like lemons. Some dogs like chasing other dogs. And you can have a combination of these. So we really need to drill down on what the dogs find rewarding. And you have to ask the dog for that. So we're going to go and have a look at some videos of some different types of rewarding. Now, the first one here is a video of all of my dogs, and they have a term around my town, and they're called the Madden dogs because they love water. So I'm just going to show this video.
Where's the hose? Is it?
So this is all my dogs.
Turn the hose on.
And I'm walking out to turn the hose on. They love the hose. This is their number one reward.
Careful, it's going to be hot.
And so it's what they love the most to do, is to chase the hose. And so I will use the hose as a reward in our training session. And the two dogs that are in there fighting for now are ones that aren't necessarily, they don't like toy rewards. They like food. But it's not necessarily their favourite thing.
Come on. Come on.
And so that video, that last bit of that video was after a session of training. So we do our training, we use our food rewards as we're training because they do like their food. But then at the end of each training session, we would have the big hose play because that is what gets them going. And so whenever we went out to that training paddock, they would run to the hose and they would know that the hose was available for a reward, and they would work really hard during training so they could go and get the hose as the reward. So you do need to find those unique things that get your dog excited. And sometimes they're a little bit hard to get into your training session. So you have to get a little bit creative about how you use them. Next, we have video 2. And some of you might have seen this in my last webinar, but this is a dog that likes food and likes toys, but really got excited about training for a lemon. And so who knew that lemons are what this dog enjoys the best? But that's what this little poodle thought was exciting. So you can see Nikki's holding a lemon there. And the dog loves it, absolutely loves the lemon. And so again, you just work with what your dog is prepared to give you in terms of what they find rewarding. So in this case, the dog gets to choose what they find rewarding. So Nora and her little dog Spider, she's putting out all the different options that he has. He has his toys that he likes. There's food in the bowl. There's a Kong. And so most people go, oh, the dog's going to love the toys. But you can see Spider goes directly for the food, sniffs the other toys, but goes, eh. So I'll just play that again. He could really care less about the toys. He sniffs them, but he is straight for the food. And so this is what we can do to work out what our dogs really like in terms of what's on offer for training. And some days it might vary. Some days they might really like one of those toys. So it's always good to offer them the choice of what they'd like to train with that day. But yeah, Spider does like his food. So it's all about asking the dog what they find rewarding. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to work that out, but you just keep working at it and keep thinking of novel ideas about what they might find rewarding. The next part I want to talk about is for all of you agility enthusiasts out there. I'm sure all of you have heard this saying, and it is all good agility dogs have to tug. So this is why I really wanted to do this webinar. It's because so many people have said to me, oh, but I need my dog to tug in agility. It needs to tug. My coach has told me I need to get my dog to tug. However, it's a myth. You do not need your dog to tug in agility for it to be excellent at agility, because if the dog does not like tugging, it is not going to find it rewarding, and you're not going to get the best out of your dog. For example, Nikki, everybody knows Nikki Drake, our lovely one-line dog coach here in Australia. She has 3 agility champions. 2 of them are food motivated, and one of them is toy motivated. So her older dog Flo loved toys, and would do anything for a toy. However, the dog she's running, Poe and Envy, are both food motivated. Could care less about a toy, might play with a toy in the backyard, but does not want to work for a toy, does not find the toy rewarding, but finds food rewarding. So it's a myth that you have to tug to be an agility champion or to be even good at agility. I've got a couple of examples here. So the first one I'm going to show is just a video of drift. And I think a few of you may have seen this, but this is what we do with our puppies when they're young, so that we get an idea of what they enjoy. So the first is going to be playing with a food toy and then playing with a normal toy.
Yes, good boy, get it. Good job. Good job.
So you can see he's actually quite excited about getting his little food toy. So we call these pup pods here in Australia. They're like lotus balls. He likes his food, and I find having a ball like this allows me to use food like a toy, so that, or like a tug toy, and so that way I'm able to throw it and food's not going everywhere, and I'm able to use it and drop it on the line or place it somewhere, and it just gives it a little bit extra dimension. But he's a real food boy. But when he was younger, I did try to make sure that I introduced him to toys as well, and he doesn't mind toys. However, if he had the choice, he would always pick food over a toy. However, when they're young like this, we like to give them the options and try all the different things, because sometimes it might take a little bit of time to develop what they prefer. And so you can see he's having a good time with the toy. But like I said, if I would offer both, he would absolutely pick that lotus ball over the toy every time.
You're so strong. You gonna bring it? Yes, good boy.
You can also hear that I'm doing a fair bit of talking while I'm playing with him.
Good boy. Get it. Yay, good job. Yay. Oh, so smart.
And I'm doing the exact same exercises with the toy that I do with the food toy, with the tug toy. Now, the next video I want to show is of my friend's dog, Indy. So this is a dog who likes food but is not overly excited by food. We found it hard to find out actually what she was excited about. And so we finally worked out that she loves tug toys. And I'm just going to pause it for a minute. She loves tug toys, but not in the way that most people think about it. So she does not enjoy the tug part of tug toys. She likes the chase part of a toy. And so when Fiona started training and we worked this out, we finally worked out what she enjoyed, and that's how we rewarded her. So you can see she likes the chase part, and she'll bring the toy back, she'll throw it at her mother's feet and ask her to do it again. You can see, look at that tail going. She's super excited about the whole thing. She loves it, and that's how she likes to be rewarded. If Fiona was to grab that toy, she'd be out of the game. She wouldn't want to play the game again. So I'm just going to play that again for you. So this is what we mean about making sure we know what our dog's like. Because most people would be tempted to try and get her to tug with it, but she's just not into that game. And so, like we said, you do not need to tug in order to do agility. So hopefully that dispels the myth out there. And for you to advocate for your dog, if your instructor is telling you that you need to tug, and if your dog is not into tugging, then just explain that and say that you've worked out what your dog enjoys, and that's how you're going to reward. Next, we want to talk about reward markers and cues. So we won't go into too much detail here, but we just want to think about how we use our toys and how we get our dogs to think about getting the toy. So they're important because we want something to say to the dog, yes, you've done the right thing. You can now go get the toy. And so some of us have marker cues for that, like get it, catch it, find it. And then pretty much I think everybody in dog training knows about, using yes as your marker cue to say you've done the right thing, the reward's going to be coming. And so these are all things to have a think about and get straight in your own mind what you want to use and what words you're going to use and how you're going to explain that to your dog. Some of you might use clickers. Some of you might use yes as a verbal to get this to happen. I'm just going to show a couple of examples. So the first one is going to be some jump offering I've done with Drift, and I'm using yes as my marker cue to tell him he's done the right thing, and then I just give him his food. So you can see there, I'm using yes as my reward mark, my marker cue to say he's done the right thing, and then just dropping the food on the ground for him to get. And so that's pretty typical of reward markers. This is another one of him sent to the food bowl. So in this example, I'm going to pause it for a minute. In this example, I'm using the food bowl here. And for him, I call that dish. So I've taught him that when I say dish, he's allowed to go get the food out of the dish. And so he understands that is his reward cue. So if I say dish, he's allowed to go to the food bowl. And get it means go get the food on the ground. Dish. Get the food out of the dish. So there's two here.
Yes, good job.
And then I'll throw the food again and say, get it.
Good boy. Get it.
And then dish.
Dish.
And so there's two different reward cues. One is get it, which is on the ground, and two is dish, which is the food in the bowl. And so these are different things to just have a think about when you're thinking about rewarding. And if you've got questions around this, always feel free to email us at support@oneminddogs.com, and we can help you out with any of this if you've got any confusion or would like some more help around what to use there. The next is learning the rules of play. Like, no two dogs are the same. I've got 4 and they're all very different. So when you're starting to learn your dog as a puppy, or if you get a new dog into the house, or you want to improve your rewarding skills, the best thing to do is observe them playing with other dogs and just playing around the house normally, because you learn their play style when we do this. And I have another fun video. And this video is of my friend's dog, Willow. And first she's playing with my young dog, Stormy, who is now nearly 7. And then she's playing with Drift. And you can see their little tug styles. They're both playing with tugs. And you can see their different little play styles. Sure why that video is not playing. I'm going to restart this one. So here you can see they're happily playing, and then Storm loses track of the toy, and then Willow, she likes the tug, so she goes and offers the toy back to Storm. So that's a dog that enjoys the tug of the game. So when it gets taken or there's no movement in the tug, then she's not enjoying the game. And the same with Storm. You can see there she likes the tug of it, and that's my older dog, Coop. He's not into tugging at all, so he's not interested in that game at all. Whereas these guys are having a wonderful time playing tug with each other. And then you've got the same dog, Willow, playing with my younger dog, Drift. And so Drift likes the tug, but he likes to be interacting with the other dogs more. And so you can see he's not putting a huge amount of effort in, and he just wants to play bitey face with Willow more than actually playing with the tug toy itself. And then he also just likes to hang with the people. So you'll find in a minute he comes over to play with us because he likes the interaction with these people, and he likes, that's my food pouch there. So all the dogs are different. So when you're watching them play out and about with other dogs, then it's the perfect time to watch how they play. And so when you've worked out how your dog likes to play, then you need to start working on that game with them and building value for it. And so if you build value for how to play with your dog, then you can use it as a reward. So you don't want to just think, okay, my dog likes to play on this tug, and then start trying to use the tug as a reward. You want to really build the value for that game between you and your dog and have an understanding about the rules. So does your dog, your dog has to understand how to let go of the toy and understand that if they let go of the toy, they're going to get to play with it again. And they have to understand that sometimes we play, sometimes I'm going to ask you to do something and then we play. So these are all the little rules you want to build in to a game before you start to use it too much as a reward for training. And it should be fun. It should be fun for both you and the dog. So next up we have who. So that means rewarding should be between me and my dog. So that's the who of rewarding. It's between you and your dog. And the quality of that relationship between you and your dog matters. If you have a really good relationship, then rewarding can be so much fun. And some things I want you to be mindful of as part of the relationship of rewarding is that you need to be genuine and authentic. You can't fake fun. As much as it would be great to be able to do, you can't fake genuine happiness with your dog. They're going to catch you out. So you need to be genuine and authentic. If you're not feeling it in training that day, then don't train. You've got to be there and present for your dog. You need to be a trusted partner. And that means, like on a previous slide, which I didn't think we talked about, is don't say no to your dog. And by that, I mean, you don't just never say no, but in rewarding, if they happen to go take the toy when they weren't supposed to, don't make a big deal out of it, because that's going to break trust in that relationship. So you just have to be prepared for that and then be ready and make a change for the next time. Be generous in your rewarding. I've seen people that reward their dog with one miserly piece of food. When you see me reward my dog, I'm really generous with my rewards, because I want them to feel like they're kings and they're queens when we're out there training together. I want them to think that the game is the best thing ever with me. And then also be flexible, because sometimes some dogs might start the day wanting to be rewarded with toys, but then sort of go, oh, I'm a bit over this toy thing. So be flexible and ready to change to a different reward if that's what they need. So I have a video here, and if you have your dogs nearby and you've got this on loudspeaker, it could make them excited, because Rain is a dog that gets very nervous at competitions. And so her favorite style of reward is actual praise from me and a little bit of body play. So for her, she gets excited the most when I'm talking to her. And she likes food, so I combine praise and food. So I have a video of me using praise and food and me just using food. You'll see a difference in her body language, and also the fact that she's a little bit more distracted when there's no praise involved. So hopefully you can hear this.
Rain! Rain's so smart! Yay, Rain! Rain's so smart! He's my smart girlie. Rain's so smart! Oh, she's a smart girl. She's so smart! Rain's so smart! She's so smart! What a smart girlie she is! You're so smart! Rain's so smart! Give it! Yay! Good job, Reno! Yay! She's so smart! Reno's so smart! What a smart girlie! You're so smart! You're so smart! Reno's so smart! Ah, oh, she's such a smart girl! She's such a smart girl! Yeah!
So you can see there when I'm not using praise, she's doing a bit more looking around. She's still a bit happy because I'd just done the praise with her. So there's a bit of residual. And she's still happy to take the food, but there's not as much wagging of the tail. She'll start to look around and sniff. And get distracted. As soon as I don't add the praise in, she starts to get distracted, and it's not as much fun for her. And so that's what I mean by being genuine. You know, she genuinely knows that I'm having a good time when we're out there. And also, you know, as somebody who has a dog like this, don't be afraid to act a little silly, get that high voice, do whatever your dog needs to enjoy the situation. So for her, I'm like that at competitions too. You can hear me a mile away and we're always having a wonderful time. So next is when. And so the when of rewarding is basically the timing of the reward. It's crucial in order to reinforce exactly what you want more of. It takes practice, and we're not always perfect. So my next video is a very good description of this. I've just been teaching Drift how to weave. And so in this clip, you'll see me using a food toss on the ground to reward him how I want him to come out of the weaves. And I'm using that reward exactly as he's coming out of that last weave so that he's driving towards it. And so that's when I'm using it. I'm also using my yes cue to say, yep, he's got the entry. That's right. Go get the reward. But you'll also see that I throw the reward a bit early, and I reward a missed pole. But you'll also see how I handle it. And so this is why I wanted to show this video, so that you can see how I handle mistakes with rewarding.
Wheelies. Yes, good job. Good job, buddy, good job. Wheelies.
Just going to restart that.
Good boy. Wheelies. Yes, good job. Good job, buddy, good job.
You can see I also use fork
Yes,
with weave.
good boy. So smart. Wheelies. Yes. Good job, buddy. Good job.
This next one is the mistake.
Wheelies. Yes. Oh, that was Mama's fault. Good boy. Good
And
boy.
so you can see I still reward him for that.
Wheelies. Oopsies. Wheelies. Yes. Good job.
And then I
Good
help him
job.
out a little bit.
Wheelies. Yes. Good boy. Good boy.
And then once he's got that, I change and I move the position.
Wheelies. Yes. Good job, buddy. Good job. Wheelies. Good boy.
And so you can see there, when I made the mistake with when I rewarded, I just kept moving. I gave him the treat, didn't make a big deal of it, asked him to do the same thing again. And when he missed it again, I just gave him his little oopsies, still rewarded him on the reset. And then when he got it, did the reward and moved on. And so that's what I mean about the when of rewarding. Sometimes we make the mistake of when we reward. And so no big deal, move on, reset so that we can make it easier for the dog the next time, and help them get it right. Because we all make mistakes. And so it's no big deal. Try not to worry too much about it. You just move on and then do it again. But you can see there he got confused for a couple of reps because of that poor timing of my reward. Next, we have the where. And we can use the where of rewarding to really help emphasize what we're training. So for some of us, if we have dogs that tend to flank a little wide or a bit more obstacle focused, then we can use the treats coming from our hand. If we want to send our dog somewhere, say to a jump from a distance or to a bed or anything like that, we can use the toy or food to put on the place of the destination to be able to send them to it. If we want to crate train and things like that, we can build value for that area by using rewards. And so we can use rewards in everyday life as well as agility training to help the dog understand what we're asking of them. And so the where of where we use our rewards can really help us in this aspect. So I have a nice little video of my friend's dog Tucker doing place training. And you can see that she's using rewards on the bed to help him understand that she wants him to hop on the bed and stay there.
Yes. Yes.
So she waits him out until he gets all feet back on the bed. She tells him yes and feeds him on the bed. Oh, and then it's fell off. And again, you can see she didn't worry too much about that. She just replaced the reward. And when he stays there, she rewards him in place. And so that's about the where of rewarding. She's rewarding on the bed to build value for the bed. And he's doing a real good job staying there. And then she tells him he's allowed to go. So that's a little example of how we use the where of rewarding. Next, in agility, the placement of rewards. We use the placement of rewards in agility a lot in order for us to help our dogs understand what we want from them. So those of us with handler-focused dogs, we like to make sure that we're not rewarding from our body. We like to reward on the line the dogs are going to take, at the obstacles, helping them build more independence away from us. For those of us with obstacle-focused dogs, we do like to reward a bit more from hand, just to remind our dogs that we're there for a reason and that they don't need to just go off and take all the different things. And so strategic placing of rewards can really help our dogs understand the more complex handling techniques, like when we're teaching them things like the whiskey cross or the German turn. And I have one last little video for you of us helping our dogs learn some distance in the weaves. And we use toy placement to help our dogs understand how to stay in the weaves while we're moving away.
So here I'm layering the dog walk while Shay weaves. The first time she couldn't wrap her brain around it, so she blasted past the weaves altogether. So then I put a reward on the entry. So here I'm layering the dog walk while Shay weaves. The first time she couldn't wrap her brain around it, so she blasted past the weaves altogether. So then I put a reward on the entry, just to reward her for collecting in and getting that entry. Now the second time I asked Lynn, my assistant, to hold the reward and throw it on her entry, so it's not a lure as much, it's just the reward for when she gets the entry. Then this time I'm rewarding the exit, so I'm rewarding her for staying in the weaves while I'm lateral from her. We haven't done much layering because she's quite a young dog. And this time Lynn is throwing again on the exit, so it's not already there as a lure. And then the last one is me running with a reward in my hand and I'm dropping it on her line after the weaves. I was a little bit late here with the drop, unfortunately, so she couldn't grab the toy straight away because she'd already run past it. But you can see what the point is of rewarding her on the line rather than from my hand. Here is Tennille with Poe. Poe already has a fair bit of experience with this, so she just rewarded her by throwing on the line just to remind her of the skill and double check it was going okay. Lynn and Rain are the newest team, and Rain has only just getting her confidence in the weaves now, so I rewarded her there. We only did 2 reps with her. Once she's in, she's pretty solid, so we just wanted to reward her for the confidence of continuing to weave while Lynn was moving away.
So again, you can see that using rewards, we're able to help 3 very different dogs with different types of rewards improve their weaving skills. And so this is how we use placement of rewards in agility. So overall, rewarding should be fun for both you and your dog. Make sure that you find a reward that works best for both of you. I know I'm not the best tugging person in the world, and so it tends to work out that the food toys work best for me and my guys because 1, they love their food, and 2, I'm really confident in using a food toy. So try and work out what works best for both of you and then take that forward into your training. And then make sure you listen to your dog. If your dog does not like tugging, don't make them tug. Let them have the food. If they love tugging and you go, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing, learn the skills to help your dog with the rewards. So I really hope you've got something good out of today's webinar. And remember, there'll be follow-up emails. So please make sure you keep an eye out for those. So please contact us at support@oneminddogs.com if you have any questions or would like any help with your rewarding. Thank you so much for watching.